Richard, you look like a different person. What happened? Reenah, what are you doing with him?
I'm Australianizing him.
You look great.
Thank you.
You look so sweet together.
Somehow, I believe we're both learning so much about presence through the other, through accepting the other, through total accepting, and and somehow being responsible for our feelings and our reactions. And I don't know, it's huge. We feel like we have tons to share.
Yeah, it's a real gift when you find somebody like that to really live that out in daily life, right? It's like, because, you can live it on your own, but then a lot of things will not get triggered on your own. That was very much the case for me, In my traveling, there were certain things, of course, they were triggered, like money and, where to go and what to do next, those kinds of things. But in a partnership, a whole other stuff gets then brought to the surface. And, how do you do that? It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. Yeah, and that's where the truth is at, right? You live that together. You live that in each moment. And you help each other to pull each other up, right? When somebody slips down or...
It's like a reminder, but we realize that love just doesn't happen. We do it. Mm-hmm. We create it every second. Or we stop creating the opposite, like our hurts. We stop nourishing our hurts, and what's left is something really beautiful.
Yeah, wonderful. It takes really two people in order to live that, that full commitment to go there and say, okay, we're gonna do this no matter what. And then really explore it in the moment, because when stuff comes up, you're right there with it, right? Which way are you going, left or right, or,
We think that maybe we should have our separate things too, that we should stand tall together and stand tall apart. Mm-hmm. And but anyhow, we're looking for something we could do together.
Well, you're already doing it. Really what is needed is to show people how to live this. And you're doing it, you're living it. Those kinds of experiences of, a trigger comes up and how do you deal with it? Who pulls who out, right? And how do you get out? And then what's there afterwards, That's what people need to know. People have these ideas of how to live this, but it's just an idea. It's not reality. Mm. So you guys, there's not many people who are really willing to go to that length to really live this in each moment. Mm-hmm. It's an idea again in lots of people's heads. All this, once I have this perfect partner, I live this. Or once whatever. But you're doing it now and you're fully committed. I think that's your greatest gift to couples out there and anyone, who wants to start really living this in their life.
And he's so different to when I first met him. He even looks different physically, Besides the beard, in his whole energetic field is just...
Oh, it's different. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's a different Richard. So I think, the one that you kept pushing down all your life is able to bloom and blossom and surface.
And this works for both of us. It's a synergy somehow together that we both blossom. It's really, we're both just so committed. It takes a lot of eating humble pie at times when one or the other says, okay, I'm snapping you out of this. He's so willing to come back. That's the thing. We're both so willing, and so whatever it takes to come back and forget about looking for that resolution of something that will never be resolved, if you like, but just to come back to the love that is here and build on that and build on the pure intentions.
Yeah, and you are living that, and that's what people, I tell you, that's what people need to know. Most of the stuff that's out there that, these teachers talk about, it's so unpractical. It just keeps everybody floating up in the air thinking, it's like, it's got to be lived in daily life. How do you do it? And particularly as a couple, how do you
have to really bring people to their own power. You have to bring people to their own power, because basically those that are into spirituality, their main commitment is cosmic cloudiness. You know, they want to say that I am not the doer, and grace falls on me, and source is doing my life,
and I don't exist,
and all the things that just put them into such a weakness as far as the human side of life, as far as saying, oh, I'm going to go out and love a woman. You know, no, they're going to wait till the woman comes and loves them, right? And so then, good luck. We're playing a kind of a spirituality and coming together, and the concept of how to give up our reactions, you know, which is such a small part of Reenah. And so we've got so many trump cards that, I mean, I don't even want to get into those things now, because there's a richness here that is totally unbelievable. I'll just say it that way. And we have convinced each other to come out, right, in some other way. And then we have convinced each other to come out in a sustainable way, which means we have to start saying something that we want money, right? Because up until now, I've been doing this hobby, right? And I'm saying, and I'm not really trying to justify it and say spirituality should be free or anything like that. I'm just saying this is a crazy experiment on how I can live beyond my means, right? And so that it's just the same thing, cosmic cloudiness, right? I really don't know what I want to do, and I keep it so that whatever it'll be small, right? And it can't really take hold anywhere and really build. And so then I'm kind of fed up with that. I don't really have a program and what I want to do, but I mean, I really know that I'm through with that phase of my life.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I've been pushing you there a long time. Very good
I'm
for
not
you.
kidding. You know how slow I am. And I take someone like this one here to knock me in the ass.
Found him on the head.
And give really a lot of practical example. How do you live it in life? What does that look like?
Yeah.
It's like in everyday life, in partnership with money, with home, with business, with kids, you know, like give the nitty gritty of what is that experience.
Okay, one thing that came to me yesterday or just a couple of days ago, right? It just came to me really clear that with awakening, people think there's some kind of an event or there's something that allows them to say, oh yeah, now I'm awake. And then if they don't feel that surety, then they are pretty sure they're not awake, and they keep their attention keeps going to all the proofs of oh yeah, look, I did this, that wasn't awake. Oh, here I'm like that, that's not awake, and their attention doesn't go to the awake part all the time, right? So then I realized that even in this couple sharing, we can't say that there's a point where you get ready. You know, we have to say that we're ready now. Right? Because that's really what we want to put out there is that you, my friends, this couple in front of me, you guys are ready right now. And so therefore we're ready right now. And so then we can't hesitate anymore and say, oh, we're going to teach this next year. Because otherwise we're putting out the exact opposite. That there's some event and some conviction that we have to come to, you know, and we're saying our total message is that there's no conviction. And that's the one thing wrong with spiritual teaching, because it sounds like there's a conviction you need to come to in order to say, hey, by the way, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the greatest misconception for most people. They are running after something and missing life in each moment right now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like you gotta live it right now, no matter where you are at. There's nothing else ever. It's just right here in each moment. Yeah, totally. I agree.
You know, you don't put it out as so great that if it happens to you, you're going to be grateful too. It doesn't happen. It's what you do and what you don't do. I mean, it's created every moment, and just as your pain is recreated in every moment, and your perplexity about what your partner's doing to you and so on is recreated and it's created in every moment. And just stop that. So that's the clear part.
You're in a way an example. You live it now. Right now is the moment. Right now you do it. Right now you are awake. Right now be conscious. Right now watch what's surfacing. And what does it look like? Alone or as a couple, how is it lived?
Yeah, well, we can show it as far as model and show what it looks like. But we actually are turning away from conventional spiritual speak, and we're starting to believe in giving distinctions, and putting a word to it, and seeing what our self-talk is. And so we can actually give the parameters. We know how it's working, and we don't have to just model it and say, hey,
we do it, you too can do it.
We can actually explain it because we've given words to it, and they're powerful words that are creative words that will recreate this, I'm sure.
Well, you see, the whole thing is the whole spiritual movement, which to me is complete bullshit because I never was tied to it to begin with. All of the spiritual words to me are nonsense because they are not really anything practical that anybody can live with. So you create your own words. You are not part of any spiritual anything. You are living your life and you're modeling something, exploring, experiencing something that's new that people really actually want to have but don't know how to get to. So you are creating your own thing, whatever. You see, you have to create your own trademark or whatever, right? Your own little thing that you are doing that's, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but disconnect yourself from this whole nonsense spiritual thing because that's like a dead weight on your legs.
One thing we don't want to do, let's say, is to set up some kind of a straw man or an ideal, or like a scenario of what enlightenment looks like, or what awakening looks like, or what getting along with your partner looks like. We just want to give some parameters of how to get along and how to be here now without anxiety. And then we have a name for that. We call it the open space of good feeling. And so then we even don't want to say that much about that, except that, hey, why don't you make an experiment of staying in the open space of good feeling and see how it goes? Because for most of our lives, I think all of us can agree that we've gone into anxiety plenty. And we know what contraction feels like, and we know how well it works or how little it works in bringing about what we're trying to do, create a sweet life. And then somehow we have this belief that is cultural, it's collective, that says if you concentrate on the bad parts, somehow you'll resolve them one by one, and you have to just kind of grit your teeth and plow through them. And we're saying, well, who gave us that belief? And where is it tested? Where does anyone show that they do come out the other end? And so then we're proposing another thing that says, don't give them the energy, and give the sweet parts the energy. And here's how you do it. And then just see if sweetness doesn't breed more sweetness.
Well, then you have to just look at you, and it's very obvious.
I don't know. We testify it works.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, it's alive in you, and it will show you exactly how it wants to move out into the world. It's already working in you, and yeah, and you should be paid for it because you worked hard all your life, and you're at a particular place where you are exploring this in a way that is not a lot of people are not able to. So you are a guide in a way. That is very, very helpful.
Yeah, we're really lucky because how many people are able to be so close as we are, right? Somehow we're both free. We don't have jobs, right? I'm retired and Reenah has her caring job. And so somehow we found ourselves together 24/7 for a series of months. And it seems like years because we've been so intense with each other so that we have a whole lifetime together in just as short in 2012.
24/7, literally.